Alright, well, for those of you that tune in to my stuff for the financial wisdom that I drop, I had asked a question of a friend of mine that I was gaming with earlier today. What he wished would have been taught financially in school but wasn't. And had a very nice conversation with him about that. However, Twitch did not pick up his portion of the conversation. There was some audio difficulties or whatever when I went back to watch the thing. So instead of that, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pose a question that maybe you guys can respond to either in the comments or by sending me a whisper here on Twitch, or leaving a comment on YouTube, which is where I'm going to post this. Heck, you can even send them to me at fustianfinance@gmail.com if you want. But the question is, what kind of financial discussions do you recall taking place at home with your parents? Like when you were growing up, what kind of conversations took place? How privy to your family's overall financial situation were you? And the reason I ask that is because we talk all the time about, finances should have been taught in school, but another place where they could be taught is in the home. When I realized that things were not being taught to my kids, I sat them down and covered as much ground as I could. And I'll even get into that. One of the best discussions that I had was sitting down with both my son and my daughter at different times, trying to help them map out what they would need to have saved in order to be able to move out of the house and get on their own. And I could go through that as a different video. But getting back to what my home life was like when I was growing up, which granted is, less than 50 years ago, but still, my parents didn't talk about finances at all in front of either me or my sister. Instead, what they would do is they would have those conversations behind closed doors. They would both go into the bedroom and they would talk about stuff. Now, some things as a kid you just know. When your parents are buying different food from what they used to, you kind of can tell how things are going financially. Obviously, when your dad gets laid off from a job, you kind of can't help but know that. When you're standing in line to get government cheese, which was a thing when I was growing up, that's a pretty big indicator as to how things are going financially for your family. I remember one summer, I was working like 5 different jobs, and I had money rolling in. My parents did not, and so I took it upon myself to buy the groceries for the family, to treat the family to out to eats, because we hadn't been in forever. Just going to McDonald's was a big deal, and whenever I would ask, the answer would always be no. So I'd be like, oh, well, I really want McDonald's tonight, so how about I treat the family? And I just wonder if you guys have any of those experiences to share. Maybe you've got better stories. Maybe your parents actually included you in financial decisions and helped you to understand what the planning and whatnot was like. Maybe you graduated from high school and went to college knowing how a mortgage worked and how taxes worked and and that you needed to invest and save. So whether you did or you didn't, I think it'd be nice if you share. Because we can all learn from each other. We can all do a better job of teaching the next generation how to manage their finances. And it would certainly help with what I'm trying to accomplish here, which is trying to enable people to avoid the many mistakes that I made during the first part of my life financially. Some of it from ignorance, some of it just because of poor planning and lack of discipline. And hopefully we can help not only our kids but other people to do the same. And that's all I've really got for you as a financial thought today. Tune in next time. I promise there will be more. I've got lots of things on my mind that I do want to share. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening.